What if I told you that by the end of this video you will understand how cars actually work, what all those fancy terms like the horsepower, torque, turbo, CVT, ABS, EVs, hybrids, and how to choose and take care of the right car for you? Whether you are a total beginner or planning to buy your first car or just someone who loves automobiles but wants deeper knowledge, this is the complete video for you. Be here, as in this video is going to be a little bit longer, but trust me, by the end of this video you will know many interesting things about the cars which we must know before we buy one. Before we begin, if you are new on this channel, please subscribe to it and do not forget to press the bell icon so you do not miss any update on our upcoming video. Welcome to everything you need to know about the cars. Let's start from the beginning. What is a car? See, the car looks complex, but think of a car as four basic things working together. First, the power, which is created by the engine or motor. Second, the transmission and drivetrain. These are the systems which send that power to the wheels. Third, the chassis and suspension, which are the structure and the system that keeps the car stable and comfortable. Fourth, the body and interior, which are what you see, sit in, and interact with. At the simplest level, you press the accelerator, the engine or motor produces the power, the transmission decides how that power is delivered, the wheels turn, the suspension keeps the car stable, and the brakes help you slow and stop. That's it. Everything else, features, screens, driving modes, are built around these basics. Let's understand the body styles or the types of the cars. Before you learn what's under the hood, you should know basic car types. First is the hatchbacks, which are small, practical, and good for the city. It has the rear door opens upward with the glass. Second is the sedans, which have the separate boot. They are comfortable for families and stable at high speeds. Third is the SUV or crossovers, which have the higher ground clearance, more space, and tough look. Crossovers are basically car-like SUVs. Fourth is the coupes, which are sporty. They usually have two doors and focused on style and performance. Fifth is the pickup trucks. They have an open cargo bed and strong frame, which mean for load and utility. Last is the MPVs or minivans, which carries the people. They are very practical and family focused. Each body style has trade-offs. Do you have more city driving? Go for the hatchback or the compact sedan. Do you regularly make highway trips with the family? Go for sedans or SUVs. You have to travel on rough roads or in rural areas often? Go for the SUVs or pickup. So when someone asks, which car is the best? Answer is, best for what? Comfort, speed, city use, or bad roads? That's always the starting point. Let's move to the engines and fuel types. Let's understand about the heart of the car, the engine. How the engine works. The most traditional cars use petrol or diesel engines. As a basic idea, you can understand like on the first stroke, the air and fuel go into the cylinder of the engine. In the second stroke, a piston moves up and compresses the mixture. In the third stroke, the spark plug ignites that mixture and small control explosion happens. And the last stroke, that pushes the piston down and then turns the crankshaft and that rotates the wheels through the gearbox. This is called the 4-stroke cycle. Like first stroke is the intake stroke, second stroke is the compression stroke, third stroke is the power stroke, and fourth stroke is the exhaust. Let's understand petrol versus diesel. Petrol engine have the high revolutions, they are smoother and they are quieter. They are better for the city and they are having the fun driving characteristics. Petrol cars are usually cheaper to buy, but they are slightly more expensive to run. Now let's understand the diesel engines compared to the petrol engines. Diesel engines have more torque at the low RPM. This is great for heavy cars, long distance and towing. Diesel engines have better fuel economy, but they are slightly noisier. They have more complex emission systems, and in some markets, stricter regulations for the diesel engines are there. Let's understand the terms like the hybrids, EVs, and others. The hybrid system combines a petrol engine plus electric motor plus battery. This system uses the motor at the low speeds and the engine at the higher speeds. It has better fuel economy and smoother drive. Second is the mild hybrid system, which has the small electric support but can't drive on the electric alone. Third one is the plug-in hybrid, in which you can charge it and drive some distance purely on electric. And the last one is the electric vehicle. It has no engines, just motors and batteries. It has the instant torque, they are silent, they have the low running cost and fewer moving parts. But for an EV, you have to pay a massive amount initially when you buy the car compared to the petrol car or diesel car or hybrid car. We are slowly moving from pure combustion engines to hybrids and full EVs, but internal combustion engine cars are still very much alive, and especially in developing markets. Now let's move to the transmissions and drivetrains. We will not discuss in very deep for this topic in this video. We will go for very small and brief explanation. When the engine creates the power, you need a way to control that power. That's the job of the transmission. Let's understand the manual transmission. In that you have three pedals: accelerator, brake and clutch. You press the clutch, change the gear manually with the gear lever. A manual transmission has more control, more engagement in driving, and usually manual transmission is cheaper to repair. But in the heavy traffic, in the heavy stop and go traffic, the manual transmission is annoying. Let's move to the automatic transmission. It has the four different types. The first one is the torque converter automatic. That is the traditional automatic. It is smooth, reliable and used in many cars and SUVs. These transmissions are good for comfort. Second one is the dual clutch transmission, DCT or DSG. They are very quick gear shifts and it is great for the performance. It can be more complex and sometimes less reliable in heavy stop-go traffic. It is not engineered well. Third one is the CVT, which is continuously variable transmission. It has no fixed gears. It uses pulleys and belts to constantly vary the ratios. It is very smooth, efficient, but some people don't like the rubber band effect during the acceleration. And the last one is the AMT, which is automated manual transmission. It is basically a manual gearbox controlled by a computer and actuators. It is an affordable automatics, but the shifts can be jerky. Let's move to the third title, the drivetrains. FWD, RWD, AWD. Let's start with the FWD, or you can say the front wheel drive, in which the power goes to front wheels. It is efficient, compact and very common in new cars. Second term is the RWD. It is the rear wheel drive, in which the power goes to the rear wheels. It has the better balance, more fun for the enthusiast, and it is used in many sports and luxury cars. The last term is the AWD or 4WD, all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, in which the power goes to all four wheels. It has the better traction, it has a good for off-road condition, and it is good for snow as well as the rain. This is the very vast topic, AWD and 4WD. If you want a dedicated video on the comparison or the separate explanation on AWD or 4WD, then please comment either AWD versus 4WD or separate AWD and separate 4WD. I will make a video and upload it as per your comments. Let's move to the next point. The terms like horsepower, torque, 0 to 100, mileage, they are explained here. When you search for a car, you see tons of numbers. Here is why they actually mean. First is the horsepower, HP or kilowatt. Think of horsepower as top end power, how strong the car feels as the revs climb. Higher horsepower generally means better top speed, and stronger high speed performance. Second is the torque, measured in the Newton meter or pounds per feet. Torque is twisting the force, what gets you moving from a stop. More torque is equal to better pulling power, better for towing and overtaking at low RPM. Diesels and EVs usually have more torque at lower revs. Third term is 0 to 100 km per hour or 0 to 60 miles per hour. This tells you how quickly the car accelerates. Lower time is equal to faster car. Under 10 seconds feels decently quick for the daily use. Under 7 seconds feels sporty. And under 5 seconds it is seriously fast, or you can say it's a hypercar. Next term is the mileage or fuel economy. It is oftenly shown as kilometer per liter or liter per 100 km. The real world mileage is usually less than the brochure figure because it depends on the traffic, driving style and the load. As I have noticed, the actual real life mileage is almost 20% less than the mentioned mileage in the brochure. Next term is the curb weight and power to weight ratio. The curb weight is how heavy the car is without passengers and luggage. And a power to weight ratio, or you can say HP per ton, gives a better idea of performance than horsepower alone. A lighter car with decent power will feel more fun than a heavy car with slightly more power. Now let's go to the safety features you must know. A car isn't good if it's not safe. The first basic safety are the seat belts, which were firstly invented by the Volvo. The 3-point seat belts were invented by the Volvo and they have kept it the patent free, so other car manufacturers can also use it for the safety of the passengers driving in their cars. And for nowadays in the modern cars, seat belts are available in front and rear both seats. Next is the airbags. Driver and passenger are minimum, they are mandatory. Side and curtain bags add more protection, but for nowadays many companies do provide the 6 or 7 airbags from their base models also. Let's talk about the active safety systems. They help to prevent the accidents. The first active safety feature system is ABS, the anti-lock braking system, which stops wheel from locking during the hard braking so you can still steer. Second is the EBD, that is electronic brake force distribution, that distributes the braking force to different wheels for stability. And third one is the ESC or ESP, that is meant of electronic stability control, which helps to keep the car stable in emergency maneuvers or slippery conditions. Third is the advanced driver assistant, which is ADAS. From last 3-4 years we see this system cars in the budget cars also. Let's understand the start from the adaptive cruise control, which is maintaining the distance from the car ahead. Second is the lane keep assist or the lane departure warning, that keeps you in the lane. And third one is the autonomous engine emergency braking, that can brake automatically if you don't react. Whenever you are choosing a car, never ignore safety just to save a little money or to get a bigger screen or sunroof. Safety features are the things that matter most in that 1 second you never expect. Now let's go to the basic maintenance and ownership tips. Even the best car will feel terrible if it is not maintained properly. A few basics like the regular service. You must follow the service schedule like the oil change, filters, fluids, etc. because clean oil keeps the engine healthy and efficient. So don't skip or delay the services just to save a little money, it costs more later. Second is the tires. Keep check the tire pressure once every 2 or 3 weeks. Underinflated tire, which means poor mileage, poor handling and more wear. So rotate tires as recommended to ensure even wear. Third one is the driving habits. Avoid the hard acceleration and sudden braking all the time. Drive smoothly. Don't ride the clutch in manuals. Don't keep your leg put on the clutch pedal. Let the engine warm up gently, don't floor it immediately after starting. This is called the cold start of the car. It is must to have to match the optimum temperature of the engine as well as to match the standard RPMs in idle condition of the engine. Last one is keep it clean. About interior, clean the cabin filters, no flood mess or no open liquids. About the exterior, regular washing and occasional waxing protects the paint. That increases the resale value of the car also. Let's move to how to choose the right car. So, with so many options, how do you choose the right car for you? Ask yourself these questions. What is my primary use? Daily city commute, occasional highway trips, off-road or family tours? How many people usually travel with me? Just you and your partner, full family of 5 to 7. What's my yearly running? Low running, then go for petrol or hybrid may be better. And high running, and go for diesel or efficient hybrid. What's my priority? Comfort, performance, fuel economy, features, safety, or looks. Rank them from 1 to 5. That alone will filter half the options. Last one is the total budget, including the running cost. Don't just see the on-road price. Consider the fuel, insurance, service, and potential repairs. Cars are more than just the machines. They are freedom, memories, road trips, late night drives, first long journeys, family vacations, solo escapes after a long week. Now you know the basics of how car works, different types of cars, engines, fuel types and transmissions, what all those specs actually mean, important safety features and how to maintain and choose the right car. If you found this helpful and you want deeper videos like full guides on manual versus automatic, how to read the spec sheets, EVs versus petrols, how to inspect a used car before buying, let me know in the comments. Hit like, share this with someone who is planning to buy a car, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next deep dives into the world of automobiles. This is Auto Curious, and now you officially know the basics of everything about the cars. See you in the next one.